98% of women admit they're sexually attracted to men with these traits, and they're not what you expect. Most guys think women are drawn to the loudest guy in the room, the one flashing money or cracking jokes like he's auditioning for a Netflix special. But here's the twist: when asked anonymously, nearly all women admitted to being sexually drawn to traits that rarely show up in typical dating advice. And once you know what they are, you'll start noticing how they quietly shift the power dynamic in your favor. Let's dive in. 1. You ask follow-up questions and then go silent. She says she went skydiving once, and you don't just nod. You say, "What did that feel like?" The second you jumped, then you let the silence hang. That pause makes her feel seen in a way that hits her deeper than any compliment ever could. It's seductive curiosity, and it works because women are emotionally wired to feel attraction through understanding and connection. When you give her the space to express herself without interrupting, it activates a psychological response linked to emotional safety and intrigue. She starts associating that feeling with you, which makes you linger in her mind long after the conversation ends. This happens because silence is a form of dominance. It shows comfort, intention, and awareness of presence, which makes her subconsciously feel like you're someone she can trust while still being drawn to your mystery. 2. You treat time like money. You don't rush. You don't linger. You move like every second costs something. When she realizes you won't give her endless access to your time, it triggers something primal, the sense that you're valuable and she has to earn more of you. This happens because women subconsciously associate a man who values his time with leadership, self-control, and high social value. The kind of man who doesn't chase validation, because his purpose keeps him grounded. It's not arrogance, it's awareness of your worth, and that makes her naturally respect and desire you. When a man values his own time, it signals emotional maturity and self-respect, which in the psychology of attraction translates directly to perceived dominance and emotional security. 3. You wear a scent that doesn't match your look. Clean-cut guy with something woody and smoky rough around the edges. Guy with hints of citrus and ink. That unexpected contrast throws her off just enough to make her intrigued. It hints at layers she hasn't explored and wants to. This is the psychology of contrast. When what she sees and what she senses don't perfectly align, it sparks curiosity. And curiosity is the beginning of attraction because it keeps her guessing and wanting to know more about you. Scent plays a powerful role in memory and emotional association. So when your fragrance feels unpredictable, it makes her subconsciously link your presence to excitement and depth. That's why certain scents can create emotional imprints that last long after you've left. Real quick, if you're building a version of yourself that makes people lean in, type undeniable in the comments. I want to know who's on that path. 4. You listen like you're collecting intel, not building rapport when she talks. You're quiet not to comfort her, but to study her. She feels it, and instead of feeling safe, she feels slightly exposed. That edge. That's attraction. The sense that you see her motives, not just her words. Women are deeply intuitive, and when they feel a man truly observes them instead of just waiting for his turn to speak, it creates a tension that feels exciting. That's because attraction isn't always about comfort. Sometimes it's about awareness and mystery. When you listen with focused attention rather than polite agreement, it makes her feel both understood and challenged. This duality is magnetic because it activates both emotional and psychological stimulation, which is rare and powerful. 5. You move like you've already won. Not cocky, not flashy, just settled. Like rejection wouldn't touch you and approval wouldn't move you. That kind of inner composure. It's rare and it's magnetic. When you act like a man who doesn't seek external validation, your energy shifts and people around you feel it. Confidence without neediness is the foundation of masculine polarity, and that's what draws her in, more than looks or words. This type of confidence shows a balance between humility and self-assurance, the kind that says, you know your value without having to prove it, and that energy creates a gravitational pull that women naturally respond to. 6. You never explain your boundaries. She cancels last minute and you don't scold her, you just don't reschedule, no lecture. No ego. Just silence, that mystery, that restraint. That's what gets replayed in her mind at night, because self-control communicates strength. When a man doesn't over-explain or overreact, it signals discipline and confidence. She starts to wonder what it would take to earn your attention again. And that curiosity keeps you in her thoughts. Boundaries are powerful because they silently communicate standards, and when you hold them without needing validation, it shows emotional discipline, and that is one of the most underrated signs of high-value masculinity. 7. You surprise her with your taste, you mention an obscure documentary or know a weird fact about wine she's expecting. Sports talk instead, she's met with depth. She leans in. You've just become unpredictable. Women are drawn to men who show emotional range and mental depth because it breaks the stereotype and challenges her expectations. Unpredictability creates emotional stimulation, which is one of the strongest forms of attraction. When she realizes you have layers that go beyond what she assumed, it forces her mind to reevaluate you, and that reevaluation is often what sparks new attraction. 8. You mirror her energy, not her words. She laughs loud. You don't. Match the volume, you just smirk. She gets serious, your gaze deepens, but you stay calm. You're not reacting. You're calibrating. And that level of control, it's intoxicating because women subconsciously read emotional stability as safety and power. A man who mirrors energy without losing his composure communicates that he's in control of himself. And that self-command is what creates the invisible magnetism. She can't explain, but deeply feels emotional regulation is one of the most powerful psychological signals of attraction because it shows strength through calmness, and that balance of control and empathy builds deep trust and desire. So while most men chase attention or try to impress women with surface-level gestures, the real secret lies in subtle psychological behaviors that make her feel seen, understood, and intrigued without ever trying too hard. Attraction isn't something you force. It's something you allow to unfold naturally. When you master these traits, you no longer have to chase validation because your presence itself becomes the standard. You radiate composure, confidence, and depth, and that combination makes you the kind of man who doesn't just attract attention, he keeps it.